Melissa and Aaron here for True Stream Media.
Hi, everybody.
And everybody talks about Agenda 21 in terms of the future and in abstract terms. We're doing this report today to show you what it's actually looking like because it's here and it's now.
And they've got test cities that are very high tech, and of course this is all in the name of saving the planet and saving resources. But notice almost everything is based on more electricity to surveil you and keep track of data. And yeah, I get that they want to use green technology to do it, but look how enslaved you're going to be to this system.
Alright, so this was in the BBC. This is the city of 2050, and it's talking about how everything is going to be on a smart network. They're going to have fiber optics, but it won't just be fiber to the home. It's going to be a case of fiber to everything. It says all services, education, and government, utilities, etc. connected to this network, which will become, quote, the nerve center of the city. And everything is going to be on a sensor network. It says experts predict everything from street furniture to roads to homes we live in will be connected to this network. And it even says that some cities may build NASA-style control centers to make predictions about city life, including where crimes may be committed. So now we're talking about pre-crime. It talks about the human network, how rather than mobile phones, we're all going to have wearable computers, possibly something similar to Google Glass.
And basically you look like Data from Star Trek, but stupider.
We're even going to get delivery drones that are going to bring us our pizza, so yay for that.
Of course, they're not advertising the taser drones.
But this is still abstract. This is still what it will look like. Here's what it actually is. This is Masdar City. This is called the World of Tomorrow or the New Future City. A lot of people are saying this is what future cities will look like. This is being built currently right now at a price tag of $22 billion in Abu Dhabi, and it's a completely walled smart city, and there's two squares here. They're completely walled. Everything's on the grid.
It's literally living inside the box. It looks like living in shipping containers, but actually what it really looks like, and I don't watch a lot of Star Trek, but the references are relevant. Someone pointed out the Borg. It's a hive collective where every entity that lives in it basically has no ability to dissent, and they just have to go along with this large, all-integrated system. It's really creepy looking. It looks like it's physically growing out of the ground into the Borg cube.
Well, and that's what it's going to be like, because everything is going to be on the grid, and all of that data will become one big mass. So this is Masdar City. It's a walled city, and it's supposed to be a completely sustainable, zero carbon, zero waste, car-free city. They even have these little personal rapid transit car things.
I'm sorry, but it looks like a suntanning booth on wheels. It's like a rolling coffin. I thought smart cars were bad.
Yeah, these are creepy. There's one of the options they're looking at. And it's supposed to be that everything has renewable sources, it's all green energy, and it sounds really great. But at the same time, you're all going to be completely on the grid, and we'll get more into how that's going to work. This is being backed by World Wildlife Fund, Greenpeace, and even the U.S. government. This is from 2010. It said that the ambitious Masdar City project has secured its arguably highest profile backer to date, as the U.S. government has signed a deal with Abu Dhabi on this city.
Well, that's the heart of the deception, is that you have to be on the grid, and it's endorsed by all these green for the earth groups. We could have alternative energy and still have our free plots of land and live off the grid. They want to control everyone because it's really, for them, about controlling human population numbers more than it is about the resources of the earth.
Exactly. Here you even have then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton going to the Masdar Institute. She's talking about renewable energy and climate change and sustainable development that takes advantage of human capital. That's pretty creepy. And she goes throughout and has a lot of remarks about how this isn't only in the interest of global progress. I mean, there's a lot about New World Order government basically here through these smart cities and this new renewable technology that everyone's partnering on. And if you think Masdar looks creepy, Sando International Business District creeps me out even more. This is another smart city or ubiquitous city. This one's coming in at a price tag of $40 billion. And this one is talking about how everything is going to be on the grid and people will even be chipped. And even mentions here that the schools in this city will be funded by the Ministry of Knowledge Economy. which, if that doesn't sound like it's straight out of George Orwell's 1984 dystopic future nightmare, I'm not sure what does.
And obviously that applies because Orwell had a system where you watch the propaganda through the television, but the television watches you back, and they're doing that in spades with every device watching you and monitoring you. Orwell couldn't have even foreseen this level of control.
Well, and it's also part of the Incheon Free Economic Zone.
Now, what I find interesting about free economic zones and free trade is that they sound free because of the rhetoric, but they're really trade blocks. And if you're not a partner to the trade block, you can't afford to do business. If you're a regular producer who doesn't produce in the free zone, not only do you pay more for labor and tariffs and stuff, but you don't have the access to the rapid transit and distribution. Not everyone can be Walmart.
Exactly. And so this article on smartdatacollective.com talks a lot about Songdo, and this is the world's first city in a box that's going to be ready by 2015, and it's a consortium of partners including Cisco, 3M, United Technology. Cisco's actually behind the other one, Masdar, as well. And it says that it will be a completely connected city where any device, building, or road will be equipped with wireless sensors or microchips. And it says that smart innovations such as streetlights that automatically adjust the number of people on the street. It doesn't mention IntelliStreets, but surely that's what it will be, which are the streetlights that have cameras and recording equipment inside of them. It says all houses in Songdo will be equipped with sensors known as domotica, which will be managed via a large TV in your living room. Next to the homes, there will be telepresence screens at all offices, hospitals, schools, and shopping centers. And it goes on to say everything here is going to be tracked, traced, and chipped. Everything. It says traffic will be measured via RFID tags on cars. They will send geolocation data to central monitoring units. It also says that public transportation will be completely wired. All locations will always be known. It says even when citizens throw away their garbage in the disposal, a chip card will be used, so even garbage will collect data. Then it goes on to say everything, the climate, the energy consumption, leisure activities, water consumption, all monitored by data. Special cameras will keep Songdo secured, while children will wear bracelets with sensors so that kids can be found if they're lost while they're playing. Every single thing within this city is going to be tracked, traced, chipped, monitored, and recorded.
And if they have their ducks in order, if it even works, where's the room for any freedom or any dissent in this society? Do you really want to trust the same governments that couldn't be trusted to collect taxes without going after political dissenters as the IRS did with Tea Party, or the companies that have been repeatedly caught charging more for electricity and other utilities because it's the summer or it's a deregulated climate and they could jack up the rates? This is a total surveillance state, and where they've tested this in the UK, they've got stuff that not only watches you, but scolds you and barks at you if you're found with antisocial behavior, or if you don't throw away garbage, or if you're a suspected pre-criminal.
Yeah, they're already not letting kids climb trees in those communities. You think they're going to be letting anybody do anything out of line here in this new smart grid with pre-crime built in? And so you've got that. You've got these things going into cities as well. This is IBM had built this in Rio de Janeiro. It's an intelligence control operations center, intelligent control collective, whatever this is. And basically you have these people in these white jumpsuits. It looks very much like THX 1138. And they sit in these giant rooms with computer screens everywhere and this huge bank of monitors that's monitoring all aspects of the city in real time. And they just sit and churn out the data. And it says here that the number of things connected to the internet is expected to reach 50 billion by 2020. And that basically it'll be an Internet of Things that goes one step further by not only integrating machines, people, ERP, CRM, and social networking systems, but also analyzing and using all that data. And I think what's going to end up happening is it's probably not even going to be people in creepy jumpsuits in here. It's probably going to just be completely monitored by computer and completely autonomous.
And again, they're not only going to monitor your person, your refrigerator, your toilet, even your toaster, but they're going to fine you if you use too much. They're going to scold you or rebuke you, or they might just cut off your authorization altogether.
And that's pointed out actually in this article the quantified city, where they're talking about these new smart cities with smart sensors. And it says that, local governments might give us a tax break for taking shorter showers or leaving the refrigerator door open less often. And while that's true, they could be doing that with one hand. The other hand could also be swatting you with fines if they think you're using, too much water, too much electricity, anything. And this article also makes a really good point about smart cities could lead to dumb citizens, and it talks about how there's a real risk for our lives to become more automated, that we will become more like automatons. It says we will follow the guidance of our smartphones without reflecting on how we live our lives and engage in our communities. And basically, you see that already with people following their GPS, which tells these people, these are Japanese tourists that were in Australia, they were on holiday, they took a turn according to their GPS and drove right into the bay. They were too busy listening to a computer to have any common sense about what they were actually doing.
So smart cities produce idiocracy. Yeah, I get it. And there's no room for free thought. That's the message of the collective hive-borg of Star Trek.
And basically, everything you do will be tracked, traced, chipped, monitored, and watched. Whatever kind of privacy you thought you had, whatever kind of freedom we even think we have now, that is out the window on these new Agenda 21 smart cities. It's amazing.
Don't buy the rhetoric. Just defund this. Say no. We've got to try to stop it. I'm not for this at all.
And I know we've shown you these two examples today, but these are just two examples. These kinds of cities are going up all over the world right now. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Truth Stream Media.